Hey there! Welcome back to the Noctis on YouTube. Oil has been one of the most crucial sources of energy in the world since the mid-1950s. It serves as the lifeblood of modern society. Most commonly, it is used to supply energy to the electricity industry, heat our homes, and provide fuel for planes and vehicles to transport people and goods worldwide. Due to its vital role in modern society, careers in the oil industry can be intriguing and rewarding. Those working in this industry may find themselves employed on one of the many offshore oil rigs scattered across the globe. Have you ever wondered what it's like to work on an oil rig? First of all, let's take a look at some quick facts about life on oil rigs. Across the globe, there are about 1,470 offshore oil rigs, offering exciting opportunities to work in various locations, from the UK to Australia, the Gulf of Mexico, or the Middle East. These rigs can be incredibly huge, towering over many of the world's tallest buildings. Take the Bullwinkle oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico, for example, standing at a staggering 529 meters, surpassing the Empire State Building 381 meters, and the Eiffel Tower 330 meters. Each rig houses nearly 200 workers who live and work on the platform together. You won't find many windows on these oil rigs, mainly because they're designed to withstand extreme weather conditions. Grateful that we're not in the 70s before onboard Wi-Fi, engineers were restricted to just one phone call per week, limited to only 6 minutes. Now, thanks to the power of modern technology, workers can stay connected with friends and loved ones. Working offshore can involve demanding schedules, cramped living spaces, and being away from home for weeks or even months. Adjusting to 13-hour workdays may be challenging, but the allure of this sometimes hazardous job lies in the weeks of leave to spend with family and a good salary. It remains an intriguing career choice. According to Investopedia, offshore rigs have an average cost of $650 million, which is 15 to 20 times more expensive than land rigs. The vast reserves of oil beneath the ocean floor have led energy companies to construct massive city-like structures on the ocean that drill down hundreds or thousands of feet into the seabed. Running these offshore facilities requires a substantial crew, often reaching up to 200 people. Consequently, there is a considerable amount of air traffic offshore. Aberdeen, Scotland, is home to the busiest heliport in the world, with over 100 helicopters taking off daily to transport people to the North Sea, a prominent region for offshore drilling. Since offshore facilities are located far from the shore, often hundreds of miles away, helicopters are commonly used as the preferred mode of transportation, though crew vessels are also used. Helicopters offer the advantage of not having to deal with rough sea conditions and waves, which can be crucial in areas with challenging weather. This means that workers don't have to worry about being stuck in traffic during their hour-long ride across the ocean. Offshore rigs and platforms operate 24 hours a day, all year round, and their work schedules reflect this continuous operation. Most workers spend at least 2 weeks straight offshore, followed by an equal amount of time off on shore. However, during this COVID, some tours were extended to 6 weeks due to quarantine requirements. Quarantine measures made it challenging to rotate shifts smoothly, leading to longer work stints for the safety of the crew and the facility. So how about life on an oil rig offshore? Let's take a glimpse into their daily routine. A typical day stretches for around 12 hours, but when you add in handovers and meetings, it can approach 13 hours. Offshore workers dedicate themselves to their tasks without any days off until they return home. Shifts may vary, sometimes running from midnight to noon and vice versa, or from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and back again at 6 p.m. In fact, one of the most peculiar aspects of offshore drilling is the unpredictability of your workload, which can keep you busy for weeks on end, depending on your role. You might find yourself working overtime or even on standby for extended periods, just waiting to perform your part. Engineers, in particular, often encounter this challenge, and while one tour might be relatively straightforward, The next could be filled with demanding tasks. Life on an oil rig offshore is undoubtedly unique and full of experiences, where each day presents its own set of challenges and rewards. During the hours not devoted to work, employees can make use of their time by reading, hitting the gym, watching movies, or playing games. In moments when the crew has too much free time, they might even engage in friendly prank wars. The internet connection on the rig might be slow, depending on the vessel, making it insufficient for downloading large files or streaming HD videos. However, it's adequate for sending emails, browsing the web, and possibly video chatting with friends and family. It's certainly an improvement compared to the past when workers were limited to just one phone call per week, lasting a mere 6 minutes. One of the positive aspects of offshore life is the food. Regular food supplies are brought in, ensuring there are vegetables, fruits, meats, and skilled chefs to prepare meals. Of course, dishes like egg breakfast, bread and soup, ham, bacon, and pancakes are quickly devoured during those 13-hour workdays. Meals are served 4 times a day, ensuring that those starting or finishing their shifts can enjoy freshly cooked food. Alcohol and drugs are not allowed, and there are designated smoking areas with limitations. Offshore jobs offer highly competitive pay, especially for engineers with specialized skills. The long working hours, time away from home, and the general hazards of offshore life mean that workers are well compensated. Accommodations usually consist of 1 to 4 people per room, with shared bathrooms between rooms. Laundry is taken care of, and the chefs prepare meals 4 times a day, so household chores are kept to a minimum for the workers. Indeed, when it comes to salary, working on an oil rig offshore offers substantial compensation due to its challenging, risky, and specialized nature. However, the salary varies significantly depending on the position, level of experience, and the location of the rig. Here are some of the common oil rig offshore jobs and their average salaries in 2023. A roustabout is an entry-level position that involves performing general labor tasks on the oil rig, such as cleaning, loading, unloading, painting, and assisting other crew members. A roustabout does not require any formal education or training, but must be physically fit and willing to learn. The average hourly pay for a roustabout in the United States is $15.52, which translates to an annual salary of about $32,281. A roughneck is a step above a roustabout and is responsible for operating the drill floor equipment and handling the drill pipes. A roughneck must have some experience in drilling operations and be able to work under pressure and follow instructions. The average hourly pay for a roughneck in the United States is $18.76, which translates to an annual salary of about $39,021. A derrick hand is in charge of the topmost section of the drilling rig, where the drill pipes are stored and moved. A derrick hand must have extensive knowledge of drilling fluids and pumps, as well as be able to work at heights and in confined spaces. The average hourly pay for a derrick hand in the United States is $23.01, which translates to an annual salary of about $47,861. A driller is the leader of the drill crew and is responsible for controlling the speed, depth, and direction of the drilling process. A driller must have excellent communication and problem-solving skills, as well as be able to operate complex machinery and computer systems. The average hourly pay for a driller in the United States is $28.26, which translates to an annual salary of about $58,779. A tool pusher is the supervisor of the drill crew and is responsible for overseeing the drilling operations and ensuring safety and efficiency. A tool pusher must have extensive experience in drilling and management, as well as be able to coordinate with other departments and external parties. The average hourly pay for a tool pusher in the United States is $34.51, which translates to an annual salary of about $71,781. An engineer is a highly skilled professional who is responsible for designing, maintaining, and repairing the mechanical and electrical systems on the oil rig. An engineer must have a bachelor's degree or higher in engineering or a related field, as well as be able to work with advanced technology and software. The average annual salary for an engineer in the United States is $85,000. There are many other positions on an oil rig offshore that are essential for its smooth operation, such as crane operators, electricians, welders, medics, cooks, cleaners, etc. These positions may require different levels of education, training, certification, or experience, depending on their specific duties and responsibilities. The average annual salary for these positions may range from $40,800 to $90,715, depending on their location. One of the reasons why oil rig workers are well paid is due to the tough working conditions and risks that come with the job. Some of the risks they face include fires. This one's pretty obvious, but it's worth mentioning since it's one of the main causes of death on an oil rig. Petroleum is highly flammable, and when mixed with other dangerous chemicals like hydrogen sulfide, it becomes even more hazardous. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, about 7% of all oil rig fatalities are caused by fires. Oil rig fires are particularly devastating because they often begin with an explosion and then turn into a chemically fueled fire that's tough to extinguish. In many cases, crews have no choice but to wait for the fires to burn themselves out. Fatigue. If you ask any roughneck about their job, they'll quickly tell you how tough it is. Working in oil mining is physically demanding and requires long hours of labor. On average, an oil rig worker can have shifts lasting more than 8 hours for 7 to 14 days in a row. Dealing with heavy machinery and equipment on the rig, crews often face the dangers of fatigue. What's surprising is that fatigue isn't just hazardous on the oil rig during work. It also poses risks when they're not on duty. A study found that oil industry workers are 8.5 times more likely to die in motor vehicle accidents compared to workers in other industries. Since it's not uncommon for oil rig workers to endure 12-hour shifts or even longer, their drive home can be perilous. The small roads connecting oil sites to residential areas can become dangerous due to fatigued workers driving back home. Machinery. Oil mining relies heavily on the use of robust machinery, such as drills, cranes, forklifts, pipes, and more. Having the right equipment and using it properly ensures that employees can perform their tasks safely and that materials are handled correctly. However, if the machinery is not adequately maintained, it can malfunction, and even a minor lapse in maintenance by a company can lead to catastrophic failure of the machinery, resulting in the loss of lives. As mentioned earlier, employees must remain fully aware and attentive while operating such machinery. Given the long working hours and the physically demanding nature of the job, many workers become victims of accidents caused by negligent machine operation. Falls. According to the Centers for Disease Control, around 7% of oil field workers meet their demise due to falls. The presence of hazardous materials on the ground and the risk of falling tools make workers vulnerable to unexpected accidents. Ensuring safe environments and adhering to strict protocols is the responsibility of the employers. Indeed, there are high risks involved. That's why working offshore requires extensive training on how to stay safe around heavy machinery, flammable materials, and other safety lessons you need to know when working 100 feet above the sea in a small steel town. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, is a requirement for everyone. PPE includes coveralls, steel-toed boots, safety glasses, impact gloves, ear protection, and hard hats. Sharp awareness of your surroundings is also essential. This is one of the most hazardous jobs, and you must always stay vigilant. One way workers stay safe is through safety drills usually held around 9 a.m. or in the evening, keeping everyone alert and ready to handle emergencies. Here are some vital safety tips. Never walk backward, always watch where you're going, and if you spot something amiss, notify someone. It's everyone's responsibility to keep safety at the forefront,